We are sandwiched between Fort Worth and Dallas, Texas, and Arlington at the luxurious AT&T Stadium. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Minnesota Vikings and the Dallas Cowboys. The bye weeks are over. It's all about football all the time as we're underway here in Week 13. That'll be taken in the end zone. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
Come on, baby. Let's see what you got. 54. 54, Mike.
Watson now to throw. It's his running back, Melvin Gordon. The game's first play produces 6 yards, brings up 2nd down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4.
Check, crunch, crunch, crunch. Alert 3, alert 3, alert 3. 55.
Now the first carry for Ronald Jones. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. 22 yards there, a 1st down. The safeties were well back there, and he had a lot of room. Were they in the cover too?
Yeah, they were, and the safeties were back. You know, usually they're 12 to 15 yards off the line of scrimmage, somewhere around the hash mark for each of them. But what also happens, if the linebackers dive into the line, if you block them initially, that blocker can come off of them and get up to the safeties on the 2nd level, and now you've got a big place to run the football.
Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and no more. No gain on the play there, 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 10 at the 42-yard line.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Running right, Jones. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down.
Brings up 3rd down and 11.
Set. 19. Mike 5-4. Check right. Check right. 59. 54. Mike. 54. Check. Check. Watch 54. Watch 54. Hey, pick your game up. Right there. 54.
Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. And he's got his big tight end over the middle, complete. And this is going to turn into another 1st down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 14. Well, they're piecing together a nice drive to start this one. Seems pretty scripted and pretty successful so far.
And I think they did it without our help, because you remember when we sat in the production meeting with them to talk about this, and hey, you know, how you guys going to come out of the gate? I know I offered my help with a few plays, and they didn't seem to want it.
Offer mine.
You were the smart one. Whatever they're doing, though, it's working really well.
Now a nice play defensively on 1st down as this is knocked away and incomplete. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. They go back to the ground with Jones. And he'll get about 3 just outside the 10, stopped at the 11. Pretty good little two-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
Here comes the 7th play of this opening drive. They've moved it well, but here's 3rd down.
Right there, 54, right there, right there.
Here's Watson. And that is caught. Touchdown, Cowboys. An 11-yard touchdown. And the Cowboys take it all the way down the field and score on the opening drive. Extra point by Marr, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. Following the touchdown, here's Marr to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line.
What? We're outside. 98 to Mike. Drop deep, drop deep. No.
This is the Oklahoma State alum, Chris Carson. And bulldozing his way through. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first. This running game's so important for them, and they know that. It helped lead them to a victory last week when he was over 100 yards.
Let's face it, it's their identity, and that's what they want to play to. They want to be that team that runs the ball really well each and every week, and right now we're seeing a pretty good pattern of that happening.
It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd and 12.
At the 31-yard line.
Watch 98 to Mike. Watch the curl. Hey, lady.
Now it's Darnold. He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. And they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
Yeah, the Cowboys here on 3rd down bringing in an extra defensive back. Darnold from the gun. Open man is Thielen. It's complete. And he's got the first down as he's up to the 45-yard line. A nice first down pickup on a gain of 6.
Outside. 98 to Mike. Hey, get the ladies. Watch the twist. Hey, team 6.
Darnold on first down. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. And this will be good for a pickup of 9 to the 46. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
He can muster only a yard there, and they'll be left with a 3rd and very short.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the...
He's got the lane, and there he goes. Touchdown, Vikings. Chris Carson with touchdown number 7 on the year, as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. Well, they were just hoping that run would pick up the first. They got the whole enchilada.
And I'm so used to teams on third down, doesn't matter how far they need for a first down, throwing the ball. Instead, they run it, and as you said, picked up the first down, and then some, and then some. In fact, everything, all the way for a touchdown. Terrific play.
Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Brings up 2nd and 7 at the 29-yard line.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
You remember me? You remember me? Let's go, baby. Bang, 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 bang. Switch, switch, switch.
They'll run it with Jones. He works his way forward for a couple up past the 30.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on 3rd down.
Defense wins championships, baby. Hey, check Mike, check Mike. Watch it, watch the slant.
Out of the gun, Watson. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And unable to connect, incomplete. I'll give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. Out now comes the Cowboys punter, as he's on to punt for the first time tonight. He gets us away. It's a good one, drawing toward the sidelines. And now where will the side judge stop his walk? That's the question. He says it crossed out of bounds at about the 17-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. The last possession, these guys were able to tie the game with a touchdown, and now they'll have a chance to move out in front.
Yeah, let's give a big assist to the defense who got the ball back. The special teams went out there, handled things. They've got it. They've got momentum. I know they're eager to get out there and put it on display.
Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it 2nd down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Keep it up, guys.
On 2nd down now, it's Carson looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6. Throwing here on 3rd down, Darnold. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. He was out there waving his arms saying, throw it here, dropped it, not a good look.
Well, all I can do is just look at him with contempt on that one. As a defensive back, I'm saying, not as an announcer. Just like, really?
A little bit of a diva look, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so, because I think what happens is he just had too much time to think. He's wide open now. Here comes the ball, and he doesn't concentrate and drops it.
This is fielded at the 27. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. Touchdown, Cowboys. He returns that punt 73 yards. And the Cowboys have taken the lead.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strikeability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Here's Carson. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Now a give, right side. Carson. A 6-yard pickup on the ground that time, and that'll make it 3rd and 4 coming up.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
The Vikings on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. This is Carson. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down.
Another down on the scoreboard, but the urge to go for it is almost irresistible here on 4th and short. Yeah, I know they're on their own side of the field.
I was going to say.
Normally I would say punt the ball away, but I'm feeling it. I say go for it.
At their own 24-yard line.
The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
A gain of 6 there on 1st.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
On 2nd down, it's Jones. And some room to roam now. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. It's a gain of 35.
That outside handoff to the left, that play has to warm the heart of an offensive line coach because they controlled the left side where they were supposed to, but they didn't allow anything to leak from the backside on the right side of the offensive line either. Well played.
Yeah, and it created a big run.
Mike's 54. Mike's 54. Hey, pick it up, defense. 9. Mike's 5-4.
On 1st and 10, Watson. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38. Linval Joseph able to drop him for a loss of a couple. They'll come up after the sack on a 2nd and 12.
Right there, 54, right there, 54, Mike.
To throw is Watson. This will be caught inside the 10. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. First and goal, Melvin Gordon. And he'll take this from the 9 down to about the 7. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle. Keep coming after them. Put the pressure on them.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Back to the ground, this time with Jones. And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Ronald Jones with touchdown number 23 here on the year. And the Cowboys, they push out in front further. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how we're going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
Following the touchdown, here's Marr to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
The last run got 9. That leaves them with 2nd and a yard. Darnold. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off around the 41. And they'll start with great field position at the 41-yard line.
The Cowboys take over 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line.
We're set. 19. Check. 55 to Mike. I got it. Mike 5-5. Mike 55. Mike 5-5. Here we go, D. Here I come again. He's down. He's coming. Here I come again.
After the interception, here's Watson. He's going to take a shot right away for the end zone. And that'll wind up incomplete. Trying to give his man room to run under it, but it's 2nd down.
Those throwing windows get a lot tighter near the end zone, don't they? And here's the thing. You already probably have 3 points in your hip pocket. You force a throw here and give up an interception, you come away with nothing.
Especially tough in the middle third of the field where he threw that one. Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41.
55, Mike, 55.
Throwing again is Watson. He'll let this go for the end zone. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they did incompletions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the 1st down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
Mike 55, Mike 55. I want that. Give me that ball, defense. Give me that ball. Give me that. Mike,
on 3rd down, Watson. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
And I tell you what, he got it from 58. That had lots of leg behind it. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason.
They can't hang with us. Check three, check three, check three.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. That's caught by the tight end, Irv Smith Jr. And he'll be about a full yard shy of the 20 at the 19-yard line. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down. Here's Darnold. They'll run the screen with Carson. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 25 seconds to go here in half number 1. This time they stay on the ground. And they will bottle him up behind the line, and now will they use a timeout? Now the Cowboys going to burn the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half. Here's Pat O'Donnell now as he's on to punt for Minnesota. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. This is taken at about the 14. Talk about flipping the script. That punt return, 86 yards. And the Cowboys, they push out in front further.
Well, if you're into cheesy movies, you would title this one A Half to Remember, wouldn't you? His second return touchdown of the game.
What if I'm not into cheesy movies?
Well, go ahead and get into it, man, because I just did it, and you're going to green light that one. How about those returns? Maybe they ought to think about not kicking him the ball.
Yeah, they might want to go away from him in the future. Very short kick. This will be taken by one of the up men. So we are at halftime here on a Monday night as we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Cowboys will get the football first here, and they have the lead as well as we are underway in quarter 3. And he'll probably wish he'd reconsidered here. It will cost him 10 yards as he's down at the 15.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never...
Weaving through traffic, and now he's free. The 30. And all the way down to the 29. A big play there for Minnesota. 56 yards. So that changes things in a big way. Now from all the way down inside the 30, here's 1st and 10. And only able to muster a couple down to about the 27. 2 yards that time. A stark contrast from the big chunk on the previous play.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Check 49, check 49. Red 80. Yo, 80. 198.
Another carry now for Madison. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
198. Watch 98. 98's the mic. Hey, defense, let's touch.
Darnold now to throw. And the Cowboys' pressure gets there this time for the sack. DeMarcus Lawrence, that is one he will remember. It's sack number 85 of his great career, moving him past Hall of Famer Howie Long on the all-time list. To the football, it's blocked. Now it's scooped up, and this is alive, accelerating, and off he goes. Touchdown, Dallas Cowboys. We talk about it a lot. One of the dangers of the long field goal, you got to kind of hit it low and drive it. That makes it susceptible to a block here. Not only do they block it, they return it.
And how about how well they did on the return, where they didn't create a penalty? Oftentimes in that type of a scrambling situation, someone will clip, someone will block below the waist, right? You name it. In this case, though, that didn't happen. They formed it up, and he took it all the way back for a touchdown.
Following the touchdown, here's Marr to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room at the half, okay? Because I think what we would have seen is an offensive coordinator and his assistant coaches getting together all their positions, then coming together as a group, going over adjustments, and then the head coach coming in and just screaming, "Wake up. Yeah. Let's get moving, guys."
I'm kind of glad we weren't in there at halftime, actually.
You think he might have turned it on us, too?
Yeah, but right now, whatever was said hasn't been working. 12 yards there, first down Vikings. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Here's Madison running on first down. A gain of 3, second down.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
98 for Mike. I'm coming for you, son. I'm coming. Lady.
Going to run with Madison again. He'll get 3 up to midfield.
Definitely too early to panic, but that is his 4th carry of the game, and collectively has in total 10 yards. So maybe there's no panic, but maybe some concern.
Yeah, and maybe a little concern up front because they're not giving him any space right now.
Watch 98 for Mike.
From the 50, it's Darnold. And that's caught by Smith. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first.
First down, watch 98 for Mike. Right here. Check 50.
They'll run on first down. It's Carson. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be second down.
What we got?
On second down, this is Madison. And here's another tackle made at the line. So they're converging well on the football now. Back-to-back stops make it 3rd and 10. 2 runs for a net gain of nothing. Now here's 3rd and 10. The shotgun snap for Darnold. Going deep for Diggs. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. And Xavier Woods with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
third quarter and you've got the lead, you're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6.
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. Shoot. 24 is down, he's coming.
They'll go again to Jones. And a short gain here across the 10 to the 12. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on 3rd down?
That's a gain of 3. Brings up 3rd and 3.
Watson on 3rd down. Got a man. It's Brown. And he will have the first down as he's up to his 17-yard line. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
On 1st down, it's Watson. Able to get this to Gordon. There goes Melvin Gordon. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Melvin Gordon, 83 yards, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. Well, he's used to running it that distance. Here he had to catch it, too, before making the run. Heck of a play for the score.
There's not many things better for an offense than a back who's a complete guy who can run it and catch it. And we just saw him complete a big-time play for a touchdown.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
First down.
So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. Now it's Carson. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down.
Brings up 2nd and 11 at the Cowboys' 49-yard line.
And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. And that'll do it for the end of the 2nd quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports.
Watch 98. 98 for Mike. You got nothing today. Red 80. Watch 98. Watch 98. 98 for Mike. Yo,
They stay on the ground. Again, it's Carson. And down to the 44, 5 yards that time.
And he continues to pile up the yardage. That puts him over $150 now. And this defense has really had its problems trying to keep him contained.
In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. But he's got room. Past the 20. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Chris Carson, his 2nd touchdown of the night. And the Vikings are able to at least knock this deficit down a bit. Bullock good on the extra point as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
Hey, I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you. Check it back. Hey, 55. Joker, Joker. Joker, Joker. Hey, 31. 22, check, Bubba. 22, check, Bubba. Hey, no timeout.
They'll start out on the ground with Jones. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6.
54. And let's pin the mirrors back and go full strength. Alert. Mike 54.
Now Watson. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. This is caught at the 20. And he is down deep into Minnesota territory. A big play here for Dallas. 55 yards.
First and 10 at the 15-yard line.
A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone.
You ain't doing nothing today. Hustle, hustle. 54's Mike. 54's Mike. Check, check. Watch 54. Watch 54. It's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day. Right there. Hey, alert. Right there. 54 Mike.
Now it's Watson. Blitz coming, and down he goes. A good response by the defense, sending them backwards after that huge gain last play. Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Here's Gordon. He'll get it inside the red zone, but only for a couple down to the 19.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
The Cowboys on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 14.
Mike 54. Mike 54.
Here's Watson. That's going to be caught. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era. We think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
Mike is attack. 19. I got it. At 31. 54 is Mike.
A shotgun snap for Watson. And this is caught from a Cowboy touchdown. DK Metcalf with touchdown number 20 on the year as his guys continue to pour it on. Extra point by Marr, up and good. And the lead will swell by 1 more. Following the touchdown, here's Marr to kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. They run again with Carson. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 12 yards there, 1st down Vikings. He continues to have a big night here under the lights carrying the football.
And some guys prefer night games. For whatever reason, their bodies react a certain way. They love the spotlight. Maybe that's what it is. The best seats in the house, the ones where he's carrying the football for his offensive teammates. The worst seats, the 11 guys trying to tackle him on defense.
That's a gain of 4 as we slip inside of 4 minutes left in regulation. They'll run with Madison. Just a gain of a yard there, and now it'll be third down.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up fourth down.
It's now fourth down.
A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on fourth down.
Go, go.
And here we go on fourth. Darnold. Open man is Henderson. That's complete. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. 10 yards, and it's good for a Viking first down. On first down, Carson, not much there, maybe a couple as he's taken down at the 40.
Well, he's looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple of yards out of it. So those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
Check 13. Check 13.
They'll keep it on the ground. It's Carson. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. They face a third down now as they try to find a late score. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Last play they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards. They'll run on first down. Carson, and all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down. Back to throw, Darnold. And this is caught. Well, they get one back. Picking up the late touchdown here, but still down big.
And that touchdown, well, it barely puts a dent in this lead. And unfortunately, I'm having too many flashbacks right now. I remember getting beat down like this playing before.
Oh, yeah? College, high school?
College, not a heck of a lot of fun. I just remember playing and trying to tackle an elusive tailback who ended up scoring 4 touchdowns, 226 yards. He scored so many times and had so many great runs, I knew every note to their school's fight song.
Bet that ice bath felt extra cold afterwards, too.
Oh, no, there was no ice bath. You're just trying to get out of there before the reporters got to you.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row. There were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game, and that's always puzzled me a little bit.
And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively.
Check 55 to Mike. Check 55. Come off the ball hard. Mike 5-5. Mike 55. Mike 5-5. Stay with your man.
Now a play fake, and it's Watson. Flushed out right. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the game. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on fourth.
It's going to be a long day. 55's Mike, guys. 55. Get in the weight room. Alert. Mike. Off. Check. 55. Mike. Let's go, tackle. Let's go. We got this. Mike 55. Mike 55. Hey, check. Mike 55.
They will indeed snap it to Watson. Open man is Metcalf. He's got it. The Cowboys going to use their second timeout now. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play.
That's good for the Cowboys. First down. First and 10 at the 40-yard line.
A couple of first downs have them to the 40 now on first and 10.
Check three.
Now Jones. And an alley to run. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. The Cowboys signal for their third and final timeout. It'll be their third and final timeout, so as they talk things over, we'll step aside. And Watson's going to throw it here. He'll take a shot for the end zone. And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown. And there's going to be a stoppage here. The booth wants to take another look at this potential touchdown. They had to go to the monitor, get an extra look. That's what the technology is for. And this touchdown will count. Extra point by Marr, up and good. And that will extend this big lead. Following the touchdown, here's Marr to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll probably wish he'd reconsidered here. It will cost him 10 yards as he's down at the 15.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
98 for Mike. 198. Watch 98. 98 for Mike. You go 99. Hey, wahoo. 198. Watch 98. 98 for Mike. Don't get nervous.
On first down, it's Darnold. And he's going to be brought down. Back at his own 6-yard line. DeMarcus Lawrence. He continues to wreak havoc in the offensive backfield. Sack number 16 on the year. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for the Cowboys, they continue to make...